Rediscovering your true self means reconnecting with the core of who you are, your values, your passions, your dreams, and even your quirks. Stripping away the layers of expectations, trauma, and societal pressures that have obscured your authentic self over time. This process isn't about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who you've always been because you're still there. Now, reconnecting with your authentic self really is so important.
Imagine having resources at your fingertips that support you through every step of your healing journey. That's exactly what you'll get with the You Are Not Your Trauma app. Access guided meditations that find your peace, read inspiring stories that resonate with your experiences, and join a community that truly understands. But that's not all. Dive into the Healing Chronicles and participate in community challenges. It's more than an app. It's a companion on your journey of self-discovery and healing. Download the You Are Not Your Trauma app today and join a community where your story matters and your healing journey is honored. Find us on the App Store and Google Play Store. Your journey to healing starts now.
Welcome to the You Are Not Your Trauma podcast, a show that reminds you that you are not alone, your experiences matter, and you are not defined by what you've been through. Each week, you will hear from the host and invited guests who have either personal or professional experience with trauma. They will share their stories and strategies for overcoming past wounds and beginning the journey toward healing and wholeness. Now, here's your host, a gifted speaker, author, coach, and entrepreneur, Harriet M. Harris.
Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of You Are Not Your Trauma, the podcast that brings hope, healing, and inspiration to those who have experienced life's most challenging moments. It's here in this space that we peel back the layers of trauma, not just to expose it, but to understand and overcome it. Now, I'm your host, Harriet M. Harris, and I am so glad that you're here today. I hope that this show is a very important part of your healing journey. Now, today, we are going to dive into a topic that, in my opinion, is at the very heart of healing, and that's rediscovering your true self. Now, we all go through life taking on roles, wearing masks, and sometimes losing sight of who we really are underneath it all. Trauma and the experiences that we go through in life have a way of disconnecting us from our true selves, leaving us feeling lost, feeling confused, and even in some cases broken. But I want to share something with you today that I think you need to know. It's never too late to reconnect with the person that you were truly meant to be. So in this episode, we're going to explore what it means to rediscover your true self, why connecting with your authentic self is so important. And we're also going to walk through some steps that you can take to start this journey right now, today. And I'm also going to share how this process has personally helped and changed my life. And, provide any advice for anyone who feels disconnected from who they truly are. But before we get into all of that, we're going to take a really quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Want a chance to win exclusive You Are Not Your Trauma merch? Here's how. Leave a rating and a review on your favorite podcast platform and share your thoughts with us. It helps us reach more listeners who may also be seeking healing and growth. Once you left your feedback, visit feedback.youarenotyourtrauma.com to let us know you've entered by entering your info and the word feedback in the message section. You could be a lucky winner. Now stay tuned for today's inspiring episode, and thank you for being a part of the You Are Not Your Trauma community.
Okay, so thank you for staying with me. So let's get to it. Let's begin by discussing what it means to rediscover your true self. Now, a lot of times we hear people saying, they need to find themselves, which is kind of impossible because if you're looking for yourself, all you need is a mirror because you're not lost. Now, you may need to rediscover the version of you that was there before the world came in and laid all of its thoughts, opinions, and beliefs into your lap. That may be something you need to do. Rediscovering your true self means reconnecting with the core of who you are, your values, your passions, your dreams, and even your quirks. Stripping away the layers of expectations, trauma, and societal pressures that have obscured your authentic self over time. This process isn't about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who you've always been because you're still there. Now, reconnecting with your authentic self really is so important. And honestly, it's essential to you growing and evolving into the person that you were created to be. And it's crucial really because it's the foundation for living a life that feels true to you and feels fulfilling. When we operate from a place of authenticity, our decisions, our relationships, and even our sense of purpose all align more closely with our deepest desires and values because it's coming from us from within. And this alignment brings peace, it brings clarity, and honestly, it brings a sense of empowerment, sorry, that is really hard to achieve when we're disconnected from our true selves, from who we truly are. When we're living lives of trying to, be who other people want us to be or who other people say we should be, it's really hard to be connected to that because it's not truly your desires and your dreams. Now, I know talking about this journey is one thing, it sounds good, right? But the true question is, how do you begin the journey? So I'm going to give you a couple of steps. So, the first step is to spend time in self-reflection. Take time to really sit with yourself and ask questions like, what do I love? What drives me? What feels out of alignment in my life? Now, this can look a lot of different ways. It could look like journaling, journaling your thoughts and feelings, or even taking a few moments each day to sit in silence and just see what your inner voice is telling you. I can assure you, because I've done this, I can assure you that taking time to do both those activities, whether it's journaling or taking time to just sit in silence, it will absolutely connect you with who you truly are. It'll start making you ask questions, or it'll allow you to hear that inner voice that's in there that's telling you certain little things. Because see, what I found in my own discovery is that we're often busy. And when we're busy, we're not allowing that inner voice an opportunity to talk to us, to tell us what it needs to share with us. We're not allowing ourselves to receive the message. So those two things I would say are a great way to get started. It's really about taking the time to get to know yourself again, your likes, your dislikes, your dreams, your fears. Because if you're constantly operating, constantly moving, constantly busy, then it is so easy to lose sight of what it is that your inner voice is trying to tell you, what it is that you need to work through, what it is that you need to process. A lot of us don't process our feelings because we stay busy. I found myself that staying busy was a trauma response actually for myself because it kept me going. Because when I finally would take the time to be still, all these things they come, right? And if you're not ready to process them, then it's like it feels overwhelming. But if you sit down and you're ready, you're like sitting to intentionally process them. I found that I I answer questions that I didn't know I had, or um I remember experiences that I didn't know I had when I'm journaling. So that's why those are two really good activities that you can do to reflect, like do some self-reflection. Now, mindfulness is another key practice because being present, it just really helps you to tune into that inner voice that I was just talking about and then recognize what truly matters to you. Like when you're intentionally quiet, intentionally still, it helps you to understand that, you know what, maybe this isn't something that makes me feel good. Maybe this isn't something that I really like. Being mindful, it's about noticing the thoughts and feelings that arise within yourself without judging yourself, and then just allowing yourself to feel the feelings and then to go and explore that. Because you can sit doing some mindfulness. It may be like a 10-minute meditation or maybe a 5-minute meditation, because I would say start small. Um, but you may sit and you may do a meditation and it may bring up something that you in turn need to go and journal. So just know that some of these things they could work together. Um, and I think another really great practice is to begin to reconnect with what brings you joy. Oftentimes, trauma, bad experiences, they dim our light, and it makes it difficult to remember, what makes us happy or what makes us smile. Um, Doing things that you enjoy, though, whether it's a hobby or, some activity that you tell yourself that you're too busy to do, or even just spending time with people who uplift you and make you feel good about yourself. Doing those things can help you to reconnect with the parts of yourself that have been hidden away. Now, for me, rediscovering my true self has been a true journey of empowerment, because there was a time when I felt completely disconnected with who I was. I've been a mom, I've been, somebody's mom, somebody's wife, but I felt like I didn't have an identity anymore. I felt like I was just going through the motions, but not truly living. And then as I began to like peel back the layers of, the trauma that I've experienced, the societal expectations that were in my head from, what I felt like was expected of me, I started to see that, you know, there was a person that I was not familiar with anymore. And I needed to explore that to figure out, you know, what does she like? What does she like to do? Now, if you follow me on social, then you may have, seen that over the summer while my kiddos are visiting their grandparents, I had a mommy summer break. Now, if you don't follow me, I think you should follow me at Harriet M. Harris MBA on all social platforms. That's me. That's my can't even get it out. That is my platform where you can find me pretty much anywhere on all the social platforms. But anywho, back to the story because I'm getting way off track. But I had this mommy summer break. Now I didn't get wild or anything, but did focus on me. And let me tell you, it felt good. During that time, I was very intentional about rediscovering me. I didn't want to just know mom me or wife me or daughter me or friend me. Like I wanted to know me. What are my likes and dislikes? Like what are the things that I do because I like them, or the things that I do because I'm with someone else who does them, and I just know they like it, so then I'm gonna do it because we're together, right? Um, so I took time to rediscover myself. I spent time getting to know myself. I made self-care a priority, and that was something I was feeling it bad, y'all. And then I took myself on dates alone, and I had a great time. I created this solo date jar that I just absolutely had a blast with. And what I did was I filled it with and actually here it is right here if you're watching YouTube, but if not, You may want to do that. But anywho, here's the jar. And I filled it. It has a bunch of Post-it notes where I just put these different activities on it that I thought would be fun. It was either things that I wanted to do before or things that, that I've never thought of doing, but I thought, hey, this may be a fun activity. Maybe it was some things that my family wasn't really into, or I didn't have a friend that wanted to go. And so I just kind of put it on the back burner. But I took those, I wrote them down on some sticky notes, folded them up, put them in my jar, and shook it up. And during my mommy summer break, I wanted to go and do something and to spend time with myself, I would go and grab a little sticky note or a date out of the jar, and I would go and do that activity. And I really had a good time doing it. Um, I feel like I learned some things about myself. Um, for one, I had a good time, and I had a good time alone. I used to feel like I had to be with someone else in order to enjoy myself, but I learned that I didn't. And another thing I learned is that I'm in a point in my life where I don't mind being at home. Like, I can find so many activities at home. Y'all, I got coloring books. I would color. Um, I would just sit around and watch shows. I would go for a swim. Just different things. Like, I like being at home. And like I said, and I don't mind doing things alone because I can go and come as I please. I don't have to wait for anybody. I don't have to do it at their time. It was really an enjoyable time. So I did create a list of self-care and solo date ideas. So if you want to give it a try, you can grab that list for free on my website at www.harrietmharris.com/solo dates. But I'll also be sure to include that link in the show notes. So don't worry, you can get the list. But honestly, it was a good time. The time I took to focus on me really did bring me clarity. It helped me to focus on my primary relationship, which is my relationship with myself. Because without that relationship being like on point, I'm not able to be the best of me for any other relationship. Like, there should not be a relationship in my life, like on my earth, that I'm giving more of myself to than than myself. Like, I got to be the most important person because I got to keep myself in line so that I can do and give and help other people, because there are a lot of people out there dependent on me. So if you are feeling disconnected from yourself, or sometimes you don't really recognize yourself at all, or you don't feel like your thoughts, actions, or beliefs truly align with you, then my advice is to start small. Start looking inside, do some self-discovery. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to have all the answers right away. Begin by, just taking out a little bit of time each day for self-reflection, for self-care, for mindfulness, or simply doing something that brings you joy. Be patient with yourself. And you remember that whatever journey you are on, it's going to take some time. And this one in particular, it's going to be a sprint. Or I'm sorry, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So it's going to take a little bit of time. And just trust that with each step that you take, you're going to be moving closer to the person that you've always been meant to be. Now, I hope you guys are following me here, because we've really covered a lot of ground so far, from understanding what it truly means to rediscover your authentic self to exploring practical steps to start the journey. Now, I hope you're finding this conversation inspiring and empowering. So we're going to take another quick commercial break. And when I return, I'll share some benefits of rediscovering your true self. I'll be right back.
You have every right to be successful. You have every right to be happy. You have every right to live the life you dream of. But your negative thoughts are holding you back from achieving those things, and it's time to stop listening to them. Sound familiar? If so, then this book is for you. Stop Stopping Your Success, a guided journal to break free from the negative thoughts holding you back from your dreams, is available now on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. Or get an author autographed copy at www.stopstoppingyoursuccess.com.
Welcome back. Now, the world is often trying to convince us to fit a mold that not everyone fits. But we weren't created to fit a single mold or even 2 or 3 molds. We were all created uniquely and for a purpose. And being your true authentic self is going to help you to walk into the purpose of what you were truly created to do. The journey will not be easy. I'm going to say that again. The journey will not be easy. And that's because life just wasn't created that way. I can guarantee you that it will be both challenging and rewarding. It'll require you to be honest, be vulnerable, and be willing to confront the parts of yourself that you've neglected. But the benefits, they are life-changing. When you reconnect with your true self, you gain clarity about your purpose, your relationships. You become more authentic, and you begin to experience a sense of peace that can only come from living in alignment with who you truly are. Now, before we close out this episode, I want to thank you for joining me today. Rediscovering your true self is not something that is going to happen overnight, but I do want you to know that every step you take toward it is a step toward a more fulfilled and authentic life. And now I'd like to leave you with a really powerful quote. In the quiet spaces within, your true self whispers, dare to listen. Remember, the answers you seek are already within you. You just have to give yourself permission to hear them. Now, I'd love for you to join the conversation. What is one small step that you can take today to reconnect with your true self? Share your thoughts with us on social media using the hashtag YANT Rediscover Me. And be sure to tag at You Are Not Your Trauma Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. To everyone listening, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of You Are Not Your Trauma Podcast. Your presence is a vital part of this collective journey. Now, if you found this episode helpful, I want you to please share it with someone who can benefit from the information shared. Also, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show. Check out the website, www.youarenotyourtrauma.com, to leave feedback, request to be a guest on the show, subscribe to the show, get information on show guests, or to get information about advertising on You Are Not Your Trauma Podcast. Connect with You Are Not Your Trauma Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok at You Are Not Your Trauma Podcast. And if you have a story to share, please email me at contact@harrietmharris.com. Now, if you don't have the You Are Not Your Trauma app, I want you to go ahead and download it. It is available on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. It is a fantastic tool to accompany you on your healing journey. Now, if you need additional resources to aid in your journey of healing and self-discovery, I encourage you to download the You Are Not Your Trauma Resource Guide. It is available through the app or by visiting resourceguide.youarenotyourtrauma.com. And as we move forward into this season, I look forward to exploring more stories of healing, of growth, and the power we all have to overcome. Just remember, you are not your trauma. Bye-bye.